listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, as always, guys. And we're getting ready to do this thing. Coming to you live from ESPN 975 92. Wait a minute, 92.5. And we get ready to do this thing. We want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams, man. But Bradley, how you doing, man? How you feeling coming off this 4th of July weekend? Because I was down there in Galveston, man, down there watching the fireworks come in, man. It was a funny moment. The family came down and we watched the fireworks, come in and whatnot. We thought the fireworks was over. And, the kids and the wife came back to Houston. I stayed one more night. I came back Wednesday morning. But it was late. It was probably like midnight. Took the dog out. And I guess we're probably maybe 100 yards. We walked like 100 yards away from the Winnebago, and just to let him use the bathroom, hang out for a minute. And somebody dropped one of those big bombs off, fireworks right over our head. Boom! Right, stars went everywhere. My dog took out so hard. I had the leash in my hand, right, and it started burning my hand, so I had to let it go, right. And then the other part, he just jaked it out of my hand, right? Took off running. And I'm like, what the? I tried to catch. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And he's running so hard, I'm thinking he's going to run to the end of the seawall. That's how fast he's running. He got out of my sight. My knees was hurting. I was like, I can't catch him. So I'm going to go get on my bike. They're going to get him, right? And I roll around and get to the RV. He's right there waiting on me, like, open the door and let me in this damn RV. What are you thinking, man? But it was crazy, man. But had a good time, man, hanging out down there. Delaware RV Park. They always treat me real good down there. They hooked me up with a nice little site right there, Oceanside, this weekend. And, man, much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Yeah, man. I think every year I forget that fireworks are legal where we live. Because in the city limits, you can't pop them off without a permit.
They just shut it down in Texas City, though.
They did?
Yeah, Texas City.
Oh.
Off limits now.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, they just got the memo just went out right before 4th of July. Shut it down. Anybody get caught, you're going to get arrested.
Arrested?
Money going to come out your pocket.
You're going to get fined.
Yeah.
Well, it always baffles me, and this is just how I think dumb some people are, is every 4th of July, there's the same news report that goes out on all the local stations. And they all say, hey, don't fire your gun in the air on 4th of July, right? And you would think that would be kind of a no-duh thing. Like, don't fire a handgun off in your backyard in a residential neighborhood. But every year they got to do it. And you always hear stories of, yeah, man, this guy fired a bullet up and it came down and went through someone's foot or it went through their shoulder or whatever. I don't understand why we hadn't learned this by now.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing back in the day.
Back in the day, I get it.
Back
Yeah.
in the day, you would, but I mean, we've come a long way, and we see, the science on certain things like that now. I was looking at one of the shows where a guy, he actually shot a gun off. And he wasn't trying to kill anybody. And he was in a field, and it went through this neighborhood, and actually went through this house window, killed a lady, and ended up finding the guy, and he ended up going to prison for it. He didn't go to prison for a murder warrant or anything like that, but yeah, stuff like that does happen.
They say if you go to the top of the Empire State Building and you throw a penny, have you ever heard this? If you throw a penny off the top of the Empire State Building, if it were to hit somebody in the head on the ground down below, it would go right through them. The penny would go right through them and kill them. Because of terminal velocity.
I don't believe that.
I've seen it. I haven't seen it happen, but I've read about it.
Reason I don't believe that is if it was a $50, maybe, but not a
little
penny.
more weight.
Yeah. Penny is going to get caught in the wind. It's going to be too light by the time it hit the ground. That's what I would imagine. I mean, but I
could see it being light.
Yeah,
I know
that it would be too light.
I know there's such a thing as terminal velocity, which is like once an object falling reaches that terminal velocity, it'll continue to fall at that same speed no matter what.
If it got a lot of wind behind it and it's going that direction, it's got to
Right.
it's got to be a
It's a
it got,
1 million shot.
it's got to be perfect. Yeah,
I think it can happen though. I think
you know what? I'm not going to sit here and doubt it. I mean, I just said it wasn't no black people climbing Mount Everest. I see 5 brothers with dreadlocks, that completed the mission.
Look, and here's the thing. After we talked about that, if anybody, like, if you could see the replies or like the mentions that I get on Twitter now, anytime someone finds something like that, I'm getting tagged in it now too. And I'm like, hey guys, I don't know if I really want that that smoke on my Twitter feed. You can send it to Book.
Oh my God.
Don't send it to me.
Bro, it's just making, talk. It's just talk. It's just talk, man. It's just talk. Like Bernie Mac said back then, it's just jokes. Don't get upset. Don't get upset about this stuff, man. There's no reason to get upset about it.
There's no reason to get upset about it, but it is funny because I've seen now like a dozen people like sending me TikToks and videos, be like, see, Book's wrong. Here's one, and I'm like, look, are y'all going out there and like searching real hard? Of course, and nowadays you don't even know. It could all be AI. We don't know.
Exactly.
Deep fake.
Brother dealing with snakes. Oh my God, man! But it was this one man, that the crocodile name, okay, Bogo or something like that. But this guy, black guy, out in the bush, he had found this crocodile as a baby, and the crocodile was wounded, and he raised the crocodile from when he was a baby all the way till he was an adult. And this crocodile was so huge, and he could get in the water with this crocodile literally and just swim with him. And the crocodile would not eat this man. It would not eat him. And that was just so, for me, you know what I mean? It's one in a million, but of course it happens, and that was a brother. I would never imagine, a brother getting that close, to a crocodile. Ended up dying some years later, man. But that story was just so freaking unique.
Yeah, I don't really understand. There's an old saying that I've always heard. I don't know I know it's here in the South. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but like, just give nature some space and it won't try to kill you. You know what I mean? And I don't know why people want to tempt fate, right? Yeah. Like what happened? Like, it's tragic, but like what happened with the crocodile hunter himself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got stabbed. It was a stingray, right?
Stingray hit him right in the chest.
And then he pulled the barb out.
I don't know if he pulled it out or not.
That's what I always heard. He pulled it out, and that's what happened when
he
pulled
it out. Just like the brother said, he's gonna go hang out with the bears. We're gonna hang out with the bears for a while, and let them hang out with us. I mean, hey man, come on over. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. What are people thinking? You know what I mean? I'm not going to say there aren't any brothers doing that anymore, but you find me one.
I'm searching.
We got to take a break, man. We got a lot to talk about. Some NXT, some SmackDown, some AEW. We might even talk about some CM Punk. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey, this is two-time Hall of Famer Booker T, and I want to invite all of you to Summer of Champions 9, going down at the Humble Civic Center, 7 o'clock bell time, guys. Brought to you by one Walker, Texas lawyer. Don't miss out on the biggest show of the summer, where all the championships will be on the line. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Summer of Champions 9. Now can you dig that, sucker?
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Summer Champions 9 is going down July 15th at the Humble Civic Center. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut out because some major stars coming in. That boy Trick Williams will be hosting this thing along with Alicia Fox. My man Nick Patrick will be in the house. Jacob Fatu will be making an appearance to Reality Wrestling. Haven't been to Reality Wrestling in quite some time. We've already sold out, but we just opened another section, guys. We plan on getting the biggest house for Summer of Champions to date. So, guys, come out and be a part of the row. And if you really want to be a part of the row, go to realitywrestling.com. Do it now. I'd do it for you.
Well, man, look, I'm so excited for Summer Champions 9 again, going down July 15th. Limited tickets available.
Why y'all think I'm looking so jacked? I'm getting ready for Summer Champions 9 because I'm going to be a part of it. I'm going to be a part of the main event. Everything goes through me. And everybody talking about, why is Booker looking so jacked? Is he getting back in the ring? Is he planning to come back? What's in the works? Let me tell you something. It ain't over. It ain't over. The party's not over until I say it's over. So make sure you show up at Summer of Champions 9, Humble Civic Center. If you anywhere in the Houston and surrounding area, come on out there. Come on out there and get some.
Get some, want some. You know what? I don't know what you have planned for the main event of Summer of Champions. I'm glad that Nick Patrick's going to be there to hold it down because the Reality Wrestling Championship is going to be on the line in the main event. Steel cage match. Edge Stone takes on Matty Ice from the Heat. And also, I mean, you're going to be busy that night because the Heat's going to, all the titles are up for grabs.
That's right.
So Promise Braxton going to be defending the Diamonds title. The Heat themselves, Mysterious Q and Gaspar Hernandez, fatal four-way match against La Familia, Culture Inc., and Fly Def. A rematch from what people are calling the Reality Wrestling match of the year that went down a few months ago, that fatal four-way that was just sensational. So you're going to be busy, Book.
You know what? It's going to be like a concert, man. I'm going to do 3 outfit changes. Okay? I'm coming.
You Beyonce now?
No, man. This thing is going to be different than that we've seen from this level of professional wrestling that we've seen in a long time. I represent the man who put wrestling on the map here in Houston, the great Paul Bosch, and he's going to be so proud. He's going to be so proud up there in heaven, looking down on this show at the Humble Civic Center. Keeping wrestling alive in his name. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be awesome, and the fans are gonna get a chance to see the best, the finest, up and coming stars. I'm talking about next level stars that they've seen in quite some time, and they're right there, right here in Houston, right here in the surrounding area at Reality Wrestling, guys. So come out and support the row.
Support the row. Don't miss out on a huge show. I don't know, Book. Where do you want to start? We have several super chats that we can get to. I know you got the John Moxley.
Let's get to super chatters first, man. Let's start off with super chats today.
We're gonna start off with
super chat.
This is from Unify Rex. What's up, Book?
What up?
I recently saw Edge Stone at Texas All Wrestling Show in Cyprus. I remembered seeing him as one of the Dirty Dom's bodyguards at WrestleMania. Yeah, Edge was there at WrestleMania, of course. When are we going to see him in NXT? The dude is good.
He's good. That's what reality wrestling is all about, trying to get these guys seen, trying to get them that exposure, get a little bit of taste, working with WWE when they come to town, from an extra perspective. But I say, don't do too much extra work, guys. Just get a little taste, see what it feels like to be a part of the machine for a minute, but you don't want to be seen as an extra. You want to be seen as a talent. And so Edge Stone is just waiting, buying his time, getting that expert knowledge, that expert tutelage, to know not what it takes to get there, but what it takes to stay there. So many guys get there, especially when they're young. And the expectations are so high, they could fail. So when Edge Stone get there, trust me, he's going to be ready. I think he's ready right now. I think Edge Stone is better than a lot of those guys at this very point right now. So he going to get there. Trust me.
We'll have to see, man. Again,
it's coming.
Oh, his time's coming. And the super chatter mentioned Dirty Dom. and I do want to ask you about Dominik Mysterio, just since his name's been brought up. I don't remember seeing this kind of reaction to somebody in quite some time. I mean, he can't even begin his promo without getting booed out of the building. And I'm saying this is from a good perspective. Good boos, if there is such a thing. What do you think it is about Dom that's drawing this kind of, for lack of a better term, heat from the audience?
I think he's gotten put in the right situation, from the beginning. I think the way Dom has grown in the WWE in a short time, I think everything has been right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any missteps that they've had with Dominik Mysterio to this point. Even I said for a minute, I don't know about the Rey Mysterio versus Dominik Mysterio match. You remember that?
Yeah.
I said, man, I don't know if I do that. But when they did it, it was perfect. It came off right. I think Dominik has definitely held his own. And what I mean by that is, putting him in the angle stuff, and with Rhea, that's cool. The Poppy stuff, all of that is cool. But you remember what I always talk about? You could do anything outside of the ring you want and pretty much get away with it as, comedic, whatever. But when you get in the ring and perform, that performance has to be right. Dominik does that. When he gets in the ring, I mean, it's a contrast there. And a lot of people don't understand, playing both roles, being an actor and then being able to, be a wrestler at the same time. Dominik, at such a young age, he's been in the business all of his life, but at such a young age, he has grasped that so many can't. Trust me.
It's funny that you actually just mentioned that particular example, because there was a movie on recently when I was traveling, and I actually had that same thought. Have you ever seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Catch Me If You Can? Catch Me If You Can. Jingle All the Way. No, with Sinbad. So, like, the movie's a comedy, right? And Arnold's playing a comedic character the whole time. And he gets in no physical altercations at all until the end of the movie, right? Where he has the big battle with Sinbad. And he's also got actually a little bit of action with Big Show. Big Show's in the movie. And the whole time you see him as this suburban house dad, and he's making you laugh and he's funny. He's saying stuff like, put the cookie down and stuff like that. But when he gets time for the action, you 100% believe he could kick Sinbad's ass all day long. You could believe he could take the Big Show Santa Claus down all day long. And it's kind of what you speak to is once it was time for the fight scene, you believe the action from Arnold. You never questioned his abilities at all. He hit the comedy, but he also knew how to hit the action.
Yeah, I think that's what Dominik has, been able to capture. And I think it's just because it's in his blood. Timing is so important. He's not like Rey Mysterio, but he's like Rey Mysterio at the same time.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean. He's so much taller, but his athleticism, his timing, the grace, the flawlessness, he does everything. He does everything good. I was listening to him talk, and he was saying that the original plan was to start him out in the NXT program, and I think that would have been a mistake. I really do. I think they've, slipped on a banana peel, and they got a bona fide star that they're going to be able to work with for the next 15 years.
Easy, right? I mean, just because he has come so far,
so quickly,
just in his in-ring work. I mean, his first match wasn't bad. Like when he worked Seth, I mean, I know he's working Seth, but it wasn't bad. He was able to listen and go through that match. But since then, he is so confident in his ability.
Yeah.
Just so confident.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible, man.
Yeah, definitely.
We have another one here. This comes from, I think we have time for it.
Super chat.
Ross Ferguson says, sorry, I haven't been on in a while. Family stuff.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Is there any wrestler that you didn't get to wrestle that Euro want to wrestle, dead or alive? Okay, so any maybe European, is that what you're saying? Any European wrestler that you didn't get to wrestle?
Dead or alive. One of the guys that I think I really, really looked up to, as far as his wrestling style, and he wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but he projected so big in the ring, and that was Dynamite Kid, Davey Boy and Dynamite as a tag team. That was one tag team that I really wish me and my brother could have mixed it up with just one time, just because, man, I thought those guys were so dynamic, and believable as champion. The British Bulldogs, one of my favorite tag teams of all time, that you really don't hear a whole lot of people talk about as much as they should, because they really were that damn good, So I think Dynamite and Davey Boy versus the Harlem Heat, I think that would have been a hell of a tag team.
That would have been actually a really great matchup, because y'all work so stylistically with Davey Boy and your brother kind of marrying each other in size.
Just think about it, man. I just thought about it, man. Both of those guys are gone, man. God bless, man. We got to take a break, man. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. Man, we'll be back in a minute.
In order to kick some ass, you got to bring some. I wasn't born the chosen one. I became the chosen one. Through hard work, determination, and winning.
The chosen one, victorious.
You're gonna be a big star. You already are.
I'm stronger, and I'm faster than anyone they ever put me in the ring with. Being the chosen one isn't just a nickname, it's a gift. And professional wrestling is my gift. That is an absolute guaranteed. What's my name again?
Shup! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Coming to you from ESPN 97.5, 92.5. Just talking about a little bit of everything, just chopping it up. This is a party, baby. We coming off this 4th of July weekend, and I'm going to tell you, down there on the beach, nothing but hottie biscottis running all over the place, man. But that's another story. We got to go super chatters.
We got a ton. We'll move on to our next one. This was from DJ 1491. Were you wearing the official Black Man's Day Off tank top on NXT? I got 4 of those at the crib right now. Look like you just got off the grill.
Yeah, dog. I was on my way to the beach, man. I was on my way to the beach right after the show. And like I say, man, people say, man, Book, why you wear stuff like that? Because I still can. Because I still can. And I still look good when I put it on. I'm still jacked. You know what I mean? The shoulders still right. The biceps still popping. The lat spread, I still got it. And on top of that, I'm still 34 inches in the waistline.
Hey, look at that.
34 inches in the waistline. So I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't going to stop. Look at me right now. I'm jacked.
Look at him.
Baby all and everything. Look at calls coming in.
People already blowing you up.
People say, man, I got to get a piece of that. I gotta get some of that action. You know what I mean? But it's hard, dog. I just finished training before I came upstairs, and I swear, man, about 45 minutes into my workout, man, I started getting tired. I said, you got to go. You got to push yourself. You got to push yourself even harder now. You got to push yourself even harder. You know what I mean? So I'm going to tell you, man, the party don't stop until, they kick you out. That's when the party's over. And I'm that's how far I'm going.
Hell yeah. I mean, look, the thing was that why do you think your man Vic Joseph was hating on you though so much? He was like putting his hand in his face, you know what I'm saying? Like not giving props where props was due on the physique.
Because the last time Vic Joseph saw Jim, he was going about 55 miles per hour.
He's a lean individual.
Oh, he's very lean. Extreme being like lean. You know what I mean? Like no muscle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the boy drank tap water.
I don't know what that means, but I like it. It makes me laugh. It just sounds funny. The boy drinks tap water. I don't know what that means.
It has no minerals. You know what I mean? All the road.
No alkaline water.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's too funny, man. That's too funny. You know what? Let's see. We'll go to the next one here. This is from Ross Ferguson. Hi, Booker T. How was your wrestling school going? I love the videos on YouTube.
Man, wrestling school is going really, really good. Actually, reality wrestling is next level as far as trying to, break into this business. I got so many young soldiers that's making sure the gym is on point on a weekly basis. So many guys that's wanting to be a part of reality of wrestling. We got so many students right now. It's crazy. We're getting ready to move into a brand new school here in about less than 30 days. In about 30 days, we're going to be moving into a brand new school, and you're talking about Fight Club atmosphere. It's going to be. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Let's just say that. But the school is growing weekly, and if you want to be a part of it, like I say, if you're anywhere in the Houston surrounding area, if you're not even in this Houston surrounding area, we got guys that move from Alabama, you know what I mean, no matter what, Canada, wherever, to be a part of reality of wrestling. We got something set up for you here as far as if you're looking for somebody to stay. We'll put you online. We'll put you on the switchboard and find you a bed if we have to. So guys, go to realitywrestling.com. Do it quickly. Do it very, very quickly.
We've had students even come in all the way from Malaysia, right? I mean, like they come over the place.
Yeah, seriously, England, all over the place to be a part of reality wrestling. So that's what's cool about reality wrestling. It's a fraternity. It's it's a little bit of everything.
Moving on to our next super chat. These next two books are kind of married to each other, both super chats. So we'll address the first one first and then the next one next, obviously, but they are related. Flair wants to know, why does WWE continue to bury LA Knight? They should be pushing him now. Now, LA Knight was a fan favorite to go out and win the Money in the Bank in the UK over the weekend. He came up short. Damian Priest got the job done. And people are saying that LA Knight is now officially buried 6 feet under by the company. What is your assessment on that?
I don't see it that way. People want things when they want it. They ain't writing the show. It's not their show. I understand where Rick is coming from as far as, like I say, put the belt on him, and I put a title on him. Do something with this guy. That's what that means. Give this guy the rub. Put the rocket on him. That's what that means. It doesn't necessarily mean hey, put the title on the guy. Did we miss a moment as far as him not winning? Because you heard the pop when he came out.
Monster, man.
And
Road Warrior.
Yeah,
88.
Yeah. And one thing about the fans, they would have popped if he would have won. Am I right or wrong on that?
Oh, they would have popped huge, even bigger, even louder.
They would have popped huge. But you remember, just say for instance, when Kofi Kingston, won the title, they popped. Did they pop?
They did.
Did they continuously pop for him on a regular basis like they did that one night?
No, I wouldn't say they continue.
Exactly my point. And what I'm saying here is if LA Knight would have won that night, he could have got the pop, especially overseas, and then came back over here, and then just say, for instance, he's not getting that same fanfare. You want LA Knight to literally be able to walk on water. You want this dude to be untouchable when you do finally, put the rocket on him, because you want to know if he's tested and he's going to be able to hold that spot and stay in that spot. Do I believe LA Knight can hold that spot and stay in that spot? Hell yeah, I believe it. I believe it 100%. And I believe not winning the Money in the Bank, he's going to prove it even more why he should be in that spot. So I have no problem saying, if he would have won, would it have been a great night? Yes. But do I think LA Knight's still going to get over and find his way in this business because he's just that damn good? Yes, I believe that. That's just my opinion.
Just your opinion, man. And you know what? I echo that sentiment. I think that it would have been a massive pop, but Triple H, even in the post show press conference, they asked him about it, and he said, the thing with LA Knight and the fans, good things happen to those that wait, or those who are patient, or something to that effect. And I think that was a statement to the fans and to LA Knight himself. Like, hey, we're just wait. We got something in store for you, but you got to let it build. And the thing is, it's almost a similar thing with Cody. If you would have given Cody the title at WrestleMania, it'd have been a big moment. It'd have been a big moment. But
it would have been a big moment. And same thing with Cody. They would have popped. Yes, they would have popped. But is Cody establishing himself right now as far as saying, hey, look, when I do get it, they're going to be there and they're going to stay. Bottom line. And for me, I don't look at this fair weather, thing. Hey, he's, everybody's loving him, so he should win. That's not the way I look at it. If he would have won, would it have been good? Yeah, it would have been great. But for me, I'm looking at LA Knight and I'm saying this guy is going to be able to hold his own, whether he's winning the Money in the Bank or not. I feel like it's just like with me. When I won it, if I would have beat Triple H at WrestleMania, would they have popped?
Yes, absolutely.
Would they have? Could I have sustained that pop on a weekly basis?
I think you could have.
Maybe not.
You don't know, yeah.
Maybe not. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, you got to be. When I did finally win it, it was no denying me whether I could stay there or not.
Right.
Is my point. You know what I mean? So I put myself in that same position under that same banner, you know what I mean? And I just feel like LA Knight is a guy that's gonna, in the end, he's gonna be able to weather the storm.
I think he'll be able to weather the storm, and I don't think that he's gonna have too much of a problem, and I don't even think it's gonna take too much longer for him to have to weather the storm. And all these comments about his age, it was pointed out in the chat, Damian Priest and LA Knight are the same age, right? So, I mean, and Damian's a guy who won it. So it wasn't an age thing. It's like 40. He's in his 40s.
He's 40?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you don't peak in wrestling. Well, you don't peak out.
It's 40 exactly.
You don't peak out to like 45 in wrestling.
Right.
So he got a couple of years. And he's in great shape. You know what I mean? He doesn't look 40.
More than anything, his character's over.
Well, that too, but he doesn't work. My thing, if he looked 40, he wouldn't be in that position.
Right. Facts.
I'm just being honest.
Facts. Yeah.
If he had a 40-year-old body, dad bod, no, I'm serious. Didn't have the swagger that he has, he would not be in that position. Mm-hmm. That's just fact.
I don't disagree with you, but you know what? There's more on this LA Knight thing that we got to talk about, but we do have to go to a break, so we'll pick it up on the other side.
Hey, man, you're in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We will be back in a minute.
Every time I come here, I just have so much fun. I go home and we just can't stop talking about it till we come back.
The whole roster, top to bottom, star-studded guys.
We drove 12 hours from Atlanta just to come see One Missile for the World. It's one of the premier independent wrestling promotions across America.
It's a well-oiled machine, and there's a lot of good talent, which is very rare on
and these shows to see so much talent about one show.
The organization that he has right now, I think and truly believe that it's one of the best organizations out there.
Brian Keith is 15 feet in the air! Brian Keith from up top!
A lot of fun, a lot of good athletes, good wrestlers, good family fun.
I've been around with a lot of the other independent groups, but this to me is a very, very top and first-class operation.
Reality of wrestling, one word, heart. And that's what Booker T is bringing to Houston. It's already special.
He's created opportunity, and he's creating great talent, as you guys well know.
Can't make it happen without these young people, without the fans coming out and supporting this thing. This is the flagship of Texas wrestling. This is the beginning of something big. It ain't gonna stop.
It's the best damn promotion in the country right now. The best independent promotion in the country. The best talent, the best coach and teacher that there ever was. And this is where it's at right here in the reality of wrestling. Believe that. Oh my goodness! A Davidson driver!
It's very professional. It's a very good production. Booker's doing it right. I really enjoyed being a part of it.
Oh, what a rush.
The future of wrestling is reality of wrestling. That's the reality of the situation.
I'm Roddy Piper, and you're watching Reality of Wrestling. Be there, be square, baby.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Shup, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. We just chopping it up, man. Answering a lot of questions, a lot of super chatters. Want to thank all you super chatters as well. I'll just read this article that I just pulled up, and it's kind of funny. And we'll get into it later. It's 8 wrestling personalities who say ridiculous things for attention, and we'll talk about the 8 in a minute. Let's keep it rolling.
Well, speaking of wrestling personalities who are saying things for attention or just to state their opinion, let me say that better there. This comes from Eric Lamar.
Super chat.
He said thoughts on Nash's take. He's also wanted to know if you've learned anything while working NXT that you'll use in reality of wrestling. Would you do NXT if they toured on a weekly basis? Now, we'll start with the first things first there. It's regarding the LA Knight comments from Kevin Nash. Did you see these?
Yeah, about him ripping the Rock off.
Yeah. The quote here is, am I the only one who sees an absolute ripoff of The Rock to the point that he's cutting an effing promo on Logan Paul or whatever the F his name is? The only thing he didn't do was turn the MFer sideways. Jesus Christ. Does anyone have amnesia? There's nothing original. Oh man, his promos. Finally, LA Knight has come back as a white guy was his comments about LA Knight. Now, I see the comparisons to Rock and Austin. Everybody sees them.
Yeah.
Now, how much of that is a ripoff and how much of that is being influenced by? I can't tell you. I wouldn't say it's a ripoff. But what do you think about what Nash said?
I mean, you can look at it from a couple of different ways, I guess. You could say, well, he's ripped a lot of Stone Cold Steve Austin off. You know, he's got a lot of the Rock cadence. Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I don't look at that as being a ripoff or anything like that, because, you know, I look at myself, for instance, and I definitely took a lot of things from a lot of different wrestlers and kind of like meshed it into everything that I did, and I called it my own. And I think that's just what wrestlers do, especially the good ones. Can you imagine if just say, for instance, LA Knight, went out and, modeled the act of Brady Boone. Okay, nobody know who it is. No, I'm serious. Barry Horowitz. I love Barry Horowitz, but just imagine if LA Knight came out giving himself a pat on the back You know what I mean? They would think, well, that's Barry Horowitz. He never got over. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something that, guy got over doing. So, I mean, I think that's just normal. I think that's just natural. I could be wrong here, but I think that's just the way, the blueprint is already there.
Yeah, I think that if it worked in a time and you have the ability to deliver on it, I don't see anything wrong with, hey, look, what's the old expression, borrow from the good, steal from the great? And I even remember King Kong Bundy used to do the 5 count. It was awesome, right? Count to 5. Don't count to 3, count to 5. And that was what Big E used when he first came in, right? He used the 5 count. Like, it's just, you take from what came before you, you make it, like you said, your own, do it in your style. And I don't think The Rock didn't come up with,
just look at, Hulk Hogan. Okay, before Hulk Hogan, there was Jesse the Body. Before Jesse the Body, that was Superstar Billy Graham.
100%.
Okay, all those guys are the same guys.
Yeah.
Okay, Ric Flair. Ric Flair. Do you know how many guys tried? Terry Taylor tried to be Ric Flair at one time. It was a guy by the name of Nature Boy Buddy Landell who tried to look exactly like Ric Flair.
And then even before Rick, there was Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, and then there was even Gorgeous George.
Exactly my point. Point. So I think that's what wrestling is, and it's always going to be that way. I mean, I got a young kids in my school right now doing the sidekick.
Lana did the spinneroonie.
Exactly. So I don't look at that as a bad thing. Let's just say that. I agree with Kevin in a lot of ways, but I don't look at it as a bad thing.
I don't look at it as a bad thing either. I think it's definitely influence. Now, I mean, LA Knight did respond to something that you had said regarding him in an interview with Nick Hausman of House of Wrestling. He said that Nick asked him about the Rocket comment that you made allusion to earlier. Like, hey, strap the Rocket on him. How does it make you feel? And he said, man, I'm paraphrasing. He said, I appreciate hearing that from Booker, obviously. He said, well, I've been trying to strap the Rocket to myself for years. What does that mean when he says that? I've been trying to strap the Rocket to myself. Is that because I feel like you in a lot of ways could probably relate to that statement from the standpoint of, I'm not just waiting around for an opportunity. I'm trying to make the most of the opportunities that I'm given to get to that next level, is how I took it.
Well, the way I always looked at that is, like, just say, for instance, when I came into WWE, I knew I wasn't the chosen one.
Right.
I knew I wasn't the guy that they were looking to give the ball to. I knew that.
Right.
But sometimes you got to make your own breaks. You got to make your, the eyes come your way when nobody's really thinking about, looking your way. You got to be able to produce, in ways to where things are happening and they're wondering, how the hell is this getting done? And we're not the ones that's responsible for it. That's when you get over like that. It's no turning back. You're it. You're made man. And for me, I always made my money in the middle of that square circle. I always made my money when it was time to cut a promo. I always let the fans, feel a certain way about when I walked out of that to that ring, but more importantly, when I left that ring, the way they was feeling and what they were thinking. So those are the guys that make their own breaks. And that's why I said a guy like LA Knight, no matter what, he's going to be able to, weave his way through traffic. He's going to be able to dodge those little landmines. He's not there at 40 for no reason. Not too many guys stick around that long, especially start getting their break at that age.
Absolutely. Now, the other part of that question from Eric was, wanted to know if you've learned anything while working NXT that you'll use in reality of wrestling, and would you do NXT if they toured?
I steal everything from NXT, just like we were just talking about a second.
That's true, actually.
No, I'm serious. You know what I mean? Everything right now, our arena is going to be modeled after the NXT arena. The scripts, we stole all of that, everything. Brad, write them up. Brad came down and said, look, let me take a picture of all that. I mean, you'd have thought it was spies, you know what I mean? Taking pictures and all kind of stuff. So, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yo, you know what was funny?
Under that Espionage Act. You know what I mean? That's what Brad should be at right now.
The funny thing about that is, I did come down, and I have the video, and I'll show it to you. But I came down because I wanted to see how the arena was set up. So, you said to come on down. I'm in Orlando. We're in the NXT arena. And I'm taking pictures of like the microphones and how they have them set up and where they have them placed and the lighting rig and everything. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do a video from the entrance side and just see how it all looks from the back and going through the arena. And in the video, because I sent it to Kevin and we watched it recently, in the video, I'm walking through and I, kind of turn the camera to the right and you see Shawn Michaels in the video looking straight at the camera like, who's this guy? Who is this guy? Does he work here? He might work here, but I don't know who this is. But you see the look on his face.
Oh, brother, I'm saying so. Yeah, we definitely take what the good stuff we see at NXT that they do and try to make it our own. Try to give our show a more professional look. Make it look bigger than it actually is, because that's what the NXT arena does. It's not that big of an arena, but on television, it looks great. And for us to actually be able to have boxing matches, MMA matches, as well as professional wrestling in that setting and be able to film it. Guys, you guys are going to be seeing so much on our new content on our YouTube channel. Once our new arena come up, it's going to be unbelievable. So just get ready. It's going to be awesome.
Now, I think the last part of that question was, would you continue to do NXT if they toured, and I'm assuming on a weekly basis? The NXT does tour a little bit now for the premium events and things of that nature, and you travel with them there.
Yeah. I'm not looking to get back on the road on a weekly basis or anything like that, like in different cities. I love being in Orlando, but my thing is, man, I'm always available when I'm available. If, the check's right, I'm gonna be there. That's just the way I am. The contract could always be renegotiated. So yeah, I'm in. If NXT go on the road, just because I love it. I love being a part of that crew. I love watching those young guys go out there and perform at that level, and to be a part of their growth as far as getting them ready for that next step. I'm loving that part as well. So yeah, I'm gonna stick around NXT as long as they have me, as long as they keep me around. One thing about this job, man, it's like Jalen Rose and all those guys at ESPN. They can call you on a moment's notice. Your time could be up. So I'm always waiting on the phone call too. But they'll find another spot for me. That's just the way it works. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
To the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Shup, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. It's all about the five. Coming to you from ESPN 97.5, 92.5. It's all about the five. That's what I'm trying to say. What? I'm trying to tell you, man. We got the most super chatters.
We do. The chatters are carrying us through. Speaking of which,
super chat
with the $5 super chat. Here is D5.
It's all about D5, man. I appreciate D5. I appreciate it.
This one also comes in from Austin Hecketzweiler.
D5. It's all about D5. I see that.
Who said, working really hard on a Mustang restoration garage in Illinois right now. Will training still be joinable next year? Congrats on the new space.
Training is available year-round, man. We don't have any certain times where you could join up. You can join Reality Wrestling, anytime. You work at your own pace. It's a 2-year course. And even what happened there? Even living in a different city, you can still get your training in and be a part of reality wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those film studies, online training sessions, everything's available. And I definitely say, though, do not delay. If you have the ability to come down and learn in person from Booker and all of our trainers at the school, I mean, I really do. I've seen now other wrestling schools, and look, and there's a lot of great ones. I know Goldust has a school, Seth Rollins has a school, Cody has a school, Tom Pritchard has a school. They're all great. At reality wrestling, I will say it's a little bit different, just from the television aspect that we have there, and the advanced training options that we have, promo classes, acting classes, learning how to put an entrance together, having input on those things, having it set up like a television show, knowing what your script is, knowing that you got to go to break at a certain time. Hey, guys, we got to go to commercial, X amount of minutes into the match, plan around it, and learning that craft of it really sets us apart from any other school in the country. And again, there's a lot of great schools where you can learn the craft. There aren't a lot of schools where you can learn the art of the entire thing. And that's what we offer at Reality Wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know what a lot of these schools around the country are actually doing, but I know at Reality Wrestling we produce. We got a lot of guys out there right now that's doing their thing. Actually, not trying to pat ourselves on the back or give ourselves any extra credit or anything, but Zilla Fatu, the son of the late great Umaga, is going to be making his debut at Reality Wrestling July 15th at the Summer Champions 9 at the Humble Civic Center. So, guys, we're all about at Reality Wrestling is not guys coming in. We're not like trying to harbor talent or anything like that. We're not trying to keep guys around too long. We're trying to give guys that knowledge to make it to that next level. And the guys that don't make it to that next level, they got a hell of a home at Reality Wrestling to prepare themselves perhaps for that journey to make it to that next level.
Here's our next super chat. This comes from Loso Dolo. What's up, Loso? Did Priest need the Money in the Bank more than Knight?
Probably. I think one thing about LA Knight is he's one of those guys where if he got a belt, he's going to get over. If he doesn't have a belt, he's going to get over. I think Damian Priest is a guy that I think since he's gotten with Judgment Day, he's definitely grown a whole hell of a lot more. I think winning the Money in the Bank match, definitely puts him in a position to where it could, put him in that made man status, that category if he does actually happen to cash in, but as we know, everybody as of late don't cash in the Money in the Bank. So we'll see, if it was good for him or not. Winning it, it was good for him. Cashing it in, that's something different. It would be great for him. Can he do it?
It would be great. I mean, anybody who wins Money in the Bank, it does elevate you. But just because you win Money in the Bank doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the title, right? I mean, and now I will say this is one thing from a fan's perspective I don't really enjoy anymore. Before it was, if you get that briefcase, you're going for the world title, right? Maybe it's the world heavyweight title, maybe it's the WWE title, but you're going for it. Now they start talking, you can challenge for the Intercontinental title. You can challenge for the tag titles. You can challenge for the United States title. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. It opens the door for possibilities, maybe more surprise cash-ins, things of that nature. But I'm like, if you had I think about it from the wrestler's perspective. Like if this thing's for real, kayfabe city, right? If I have a contract to get any championship that I want, why would I not go for the top thing that in my mind would make me the most money, put in the main events, be the star on the bill? Why would I not do that, Book? You're over there laughing. Why wouldn't I do that?
You can't think like that.
You would do it.
You can't think like that's what it's wrestling, man. You can't. Of course you would do it. Of course, I would think that way. Of course. Yeah. But it's a wrestling show, so wrestling shows, sometimes people do crazy things like jump off the top rope, or jump off a ladder, on the two tables. I mean, people do some crazy stuff. It's wrestling.
Hey, you know what, though? Apparently, by the way, speaking on that, Sting apparently is recovering well from his incident.
I hope so.
It does seem that there's a lot of smoke around the idea of him retiring at Wembley Stadium. And we were talking before we started the show today. I mean, they're north of 70,000 tickets sold. It's going to be the biggest crowd he's going to be in front of, most likely for the rest of his career.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a great way to go out. It'd be a great way to go out. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what I was talking about Chris Jericho, but will be a great match to go out with. I don't know if Chris got something for that. I don't know, but it definitely would be a great way for Sting to go out. But I'm not advocating. I'm not lobbying, for Sting to retire or anything like that. So I don't want anybody to, go out there and say Sting. Booker T says Sting should retire at Wembley Stadium. That's normally the stuff I get. But no. If Sting was to go out, it would be a great way to do it in front of 70,000. I've even heard it might be up to 90,000 people.
Man, it'd be incredible. That'd be an incredible way to go out, man. We have one more super chat that we'll get to, and then I want to ask you really about this wrestlers that only say things to get attention list that you brought up a second ago. I want to hear what you're talking about with that. I'm curious now.
Super chat.
But why don't we go with Scott Bot with $20 super chat? We appreciate it, Scott. What's up, fellas? From a booker's perspective, how do you find balance between giving the people what they want versus what management wants? Fans wanted Roman to be a badass, not white meat babyface. Management tried everything with Corbin to no avail. But how do you balance, I guess, from a booker's perspective, giving the people what they want versus what management wants?
Management is always going to want, a certain thing, but that's not going to affect, what you give to the people. The people want a stellar performance every night. All right. The fans want to know they're paying their money to go and watch a wrestling match, but they still want their disbelief to be suspended. And they want to feel a certain way when they leave that arena. That's what I mean by giving the people what they want. It's just like for me, just say for instance, when I wrestled Triple H at WrestleMania, I didn't win the match, but I tried my best to go out there and get the people everything they wanted in that match. Toward man, they thought I was going to win it. The fans thought I was going to win that match, especially after the Harlem Hangover. It was done, So for me, even in my losses, I still make sure I try to get the people what they want. That's what I mean by that. Now, the office, of course, it's a business. I look at the wrestling business like Hollywood and like doing a movie, and you get a script and you want, they want you to go out there and do that script. But like I say, I really think, when they gave the script to Denzel Washington in Training Day, Denzel Washington looked at that script and said, man, I'm going to go make I can't wait to, make something out of this. You know what I mean? So you got to know how to take the script and know how to enhance it. But that's where our guys, there again, just like say, for instance, I'm working at NXT, and it's a lot of young guys that love to go out and wrestle, but they forget about thinking about how good of an actor that they have to be at the same time. So we got to, go down to their level in order to bring them up to that next level. That's my specialty, working with guys and letting them see, hey, no, I need more emotion out of that. No, we got to redo that. We got to do that again, just because I need a certain something, because that certain something is not for you. It's for the fans. So that's what I mean when we're talking about that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and obviously, like you said, it's a give and take, right? I mean, because if you never give the fans what they want, obviously, at some point, people are gonna, not want to watch anymore, right? I mean, if you don't ever give them what they want, so you have to have concessions along the way with an overall plan in mind.
No, I think the question was, as far as what the wrestler give them. I don't think that question was, if the office was giving them what they want.
I think what it said, here's the key here, from a booker's perspective, not from Booker's perspective. So from like a booker, I think, well, at least that's how I took it. It's just, how do you balance? Like if I'm putting the show together, it's me, like you putting reality wrestling together. Okay. Obviously you have things that you want to do. But you also know the fans might want a certain result.
I think that should have been from a booker perspective, not a booker's perspective.
From a booker, correct. Well, you are both, though. You are a booker, and you are a booker.
You got to take a break. Yeah, you're in Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey, this is two-time Hall of Famer Booker T, and I want to invite all of you to Summer of Champions 9, going down at the Humble Civic Center, 7 o'clock bell time, guys. Brought to you by one Walker, Texas lawyer. Don't miss out on the biggest show of the summer, where all the championships will be on the line. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Summer of Champions 9. Now can you dig that, sucker?
Welcome back into the Hall of Fame, guys. I'm still thinking about this Booker's question, but we got the more super chatters, man, because I know you want to hear about that little story that I was talking about.
That's our last one for right now. If anybody has anything for us before we leave here in the Hall of Fame today, you can go ahead and super chat them in. But yeah, I want to know, what is this whole list about that you're talking about?
I was reading an article that the Sportster put out today about a Joey Haverford. Joey Haverford, he actually put this out. And it says, wrestling personalities who say ridiculous things for attention. And I go, man, I know I'm on that list. But
I know I'm on that list.
So let me go down the list here, guys. At number 8 is none other than Ryback. Ryback comes in at number 8. At number 7 is going to be the Disco Inferno. Okay. Number 6, Dirty Dutch Mantel.
Oof.
We just had a run in with Dutch Mantel not too long ago.
We did.
Number 5, the Road Dogg.
Okay.
Number 4, Eric Bischoff.
Okay.
Number 3, Bully Ray.
Oh no.
Number 2, Vince Russo. And then number 1, drum roll, please, Jim Cornette.
No, wait a minute.
Super.
You don't mess with my little privates, man.
I just wanted to put it out there, man. I appreciate that. With Joey Haverford. Yeah, Joey Haverford. I appreciate that.
Oh,
Not putting me on that list, man, because we never say stuff here inside the Hall of Fame just to say it. We don't say ridiculous stuff to get attention. We don't look for clickbait or anything like that. I'm not just making up stuff to rile people up or anything like that. So I appreciate not being on that list. That's why I wanted to put it out there.
I was sure.
You thought it was going to be number 1, huh?
Well, the way that you were counting down, I thought, oh man, Book's gonna be number 1 on this list. Really? Like, he's number 1 out of all the people. Book's number 1.
I didn't make the list.
You didn't make the list, man.
I didn't make the list. That's pretty good, huh? What do you think about that?
It's got to make you feel pretty good.
You know what? It really does. I mean, it makes me feel good because this show has always been about, just talking about real issues, stuff that's going on out there. Like, some of the stuff I want to talk about, like Tiffany Stratton, like Natalia, like John Moxley. Everything we talk about here is just real talk. It's nothing to down, hate on anybody or anything like that. It's just real talk. And it's stuff that we try to, bring knowledge to the game. I think more than anything, just like talking about the young guys coming up in NXT, questions being asked and answered, in a certain way, not crapping on anybody, even though the question may be about someone that they think you might want to crap on, so my thing is journalistic integrity, as I think was Hall of Fame is all about, as well as reality wrestling, all about. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you didn't make the list, Book. I'm very thankful to that, because again, like you said, so there was a period of time where you were kind of known as a hot take guy for a minute.
Yeah.
And I really never, I understood it sorta, but never really got it.
You know what? I wasn't the hot take guy more so than people taking my takes and making them hot.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. Yeah. People were taking things out of context and finding the most sensational quote they could find and then making that the story other than it.
I think that's what it was. I think people just taking my words and making them hot takes, but I don't think I was really saying anything. It's just like I got a phone call yesterday from Bill Apter, and he goes, Bill, I think I talked to you about that.
Yeah.
About Medusa won $100,000 for the belt on Treasures, and I go, she's out of her I think I might even say it or something else, but I said she's out of her damn mind. You know what I mean? And people take that and and write it up like, I got heat with Medusa. If I saw Medusa and she asked me for $100,000 for the belt for Treasures, I would tell her, you out of your damn mind. You ain't get $100,000. What are you talking about? That's what I would say. So it's not anything, negative. We don't have heat or anything, but come on here. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Like, come on now.
But somebody take that and make it a hot take.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what they're always looking to do. That's what they're always looking
to do. The thing is, even on the show, I thought the cameras had stopped rolling. I didn't think that was going to be on the show. It's crazy though. It's really stupid, right?
It is stupid. I know you want to talk about these other subjects, so let's try to get through this. We have 3 more super chats to get through. This from Scott Bott again, who actually says, "A Booker, not you personally, Booker T."
Okay, what was the question? What was the first part of the question?
So then it was from a Booker's perspective. How do you find balance, giving the people what they want versus what management wants?
Okay. If you're a booker, you are management. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, you're making decisions if you booking the show. Right. And the second part of that question is how do you keep balance, as far as the fans, as far as giving them what they want. That right there is a very, very slippery slope, just like what we just say, for instance, what we're doing with Cody Rhodes right now. A lot of people would say, man, we got to pull the trigger on the thing. We got to pull the trigger on this thing. But for me, Cody Rhodes ain't going nowhere. Cody's going to be there for a while. And I figured the longer we play this thing out, the better, it's going to work out for me from a business perspective. That's what I'm looking at. So, but timing has, at a certain time, I know I got to pull the trigger on Cody because the fans, they're a big part of this machine and everything working properly. So there is a balance. When one guy's hot, you keep him hot as you can. But when he's cooling off, it's time to switch the play up. But when that happens, when are you going to know it? You're not going to know it until it's time. That's the way I look at stuff like that. That's a really, really hard question to answer.
It is hard, and that's what I was saying. Like, obviously, you want to give the fans what they want in some respects, but in the same thing, like I remember Heyman doing this interview one time, and he talked about when Steve Austin came down to ECW, and the obvious thing would have been, and what the fans wanted to see is make Steve the ECW champion, right? Make him the ECW champion. Steve Austin, he just came from WCW, Hollywood Blondes, U.S. champion, Flair for the Hold, all that stuff. And Steve said and of course Paul wanted to, but Steve said, look, man, let me go out there and let me get real close and then lose it. He goes, because then it's going to make the people want me to be champion even more. Right. And it's balancing what the fans want, but it's also letting them, when management, quote unquote, finally books it, quote unquote, for them to win, it makes it all that much more satisfying than if you were just giving it on a platter.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I say it's hard to know when that time, it's just like, for instance, in reality wrestling, one of my champions back in the day, his name was Gustavo Mendoza. He had championship for a year straight. And I thought Gustavo was the best, and that's why I, kept the title on him. And Gustavo came to me one day and he goes, look, I think we need to make that guy. We need to put the title on him, and there again, that's, one of my kids, foreseeing something, before I could actually foresee it. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm looking for guys that actually know when it's time to actually, pass the ball as well. So, like I say, it's a really hard question. Your timing just has to be right.
Isn't that interesting? And I want to ask you this, because when you're younger, no matter what industry that you're in, and whether it's wrestling, which we're talking about, or any industry, when you're younger, to use a sports analogy, you want to be Michael Jordan. You want to be the guy scoring all the points, winning the games for the team, and being the star in a lot of ways. And that's just kind of us as individuals. A lot of times we're ego driven when we're younger. But the older I get, and I'm sure it was the same for you, especially in wrestling, the more you go, man, I like getting an assist more than I like hitting the three. I like passing the ball and giving somebody an opportunity to let them shine a little bit and let me impart that wisdom on them or look out for them more. You like to be a point guard the older you get, don't you think?
I tell you, I think so. I mean, in this business, if you're doing it for the right reasons, a lot of guys don't want to never pass the torch. A lot of guys want to hold on to that baton forever and run, man. But for me, just like say, for instance, before Cody Rhodes left WWE, Cody Rhodes didn't want to work me. I wanted to work Cody Rhodes. I wanted to go out there and I wanted to make sure, when Cody did get the win, I was looking up at the lights. I wanted to make sure his win meant something when he finally beat me. And I wanted to lose. For me, that's what I mean about knowing, how to go out there and think about the show, opposed to not thinking about yourself from a booker's perspective. That was a request that I made to a booker, and he granted it because, man, that's something cool. That might be the right thing to do. So, yeah. Right place, right time. Timing's everything in that situation. We got to take a break, though. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey, this is two-time Hall of Famer Booker T, and I want to invite all of you to Summer of Champions 9, going down at the Humble Civic Center, 7 o'clock bell time, guys. Brought to you by one Walker, Texas lawyer. Don't miss out on the biggest show of the summer, where all the championships will be on the line. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Summer of Champions 9. Now, can you dig that, sucker?
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. I know we got a lot to talk about, and we got a lot to talk about it. I know we got super chats still coming in, so let's keep them rolling.
You seem like you get energized from that commercial.
I do, man. I love it.
Every time it comes back, you're like all like giddy. I know what you're thinking too. When you watch that. You go, this is what you're thinking in your head. You go,
you don't want to mess with my little privates, man. I know that's what you're going to put in there.
You don't mess with my little privates, man.
That's not what I was going to say, but that's funny. I know what you're thinking, though. When you see that commercial, you go, and you say this in your head, and I know it for a fact. You go, I did that in one take.
I did do that in one take. Shoot. Bro, I can do it. When the camera's rolling, I pretty much do everything in one take, man. It's when the camera's not rolling. It's not like you and I, we had to, cut a commercial, doing some stuff with you, and I couldn't get my words out for it to save my life. You're like, wait a minute, you did this live with no problem. It was live, I don't want to mess up when it's live.
Yeah. I it's funny because it's the old Vince saying that I've actually used so many times, whether it's be like a live music show, a reality wrestling show, a live anything. Vince had this quote about Raw: "It can't go wrong if it's live," right?
Yeah,
and I love that quote because what it says is you need to be in the moment, you need to roll with the punches. You're never going to land anything as it's written, so just go out there and roll with it, man.
Yeah. I always say, it wasn't a screw up if it wasn't a spot.
That's a good one too.
A lot of guys call this, but I never call my spots. So if we messed up something, it just happened.
Well, and like what fight is always pretty, and it's the other thing. Like I don't know if you got to see a lot of Money in the Bank because I know you were out of town during the weekend, but there was a spot with Ricochet and Logan Paul. Did you see that?
I heard about it. Yeah. Bot spot, right?
Yeah, they're going to do, it looked like what they were going for is getting tipped off the ladder, landing on the top rope, and doing a Spanish fly off the top rope into the tables below off the ring. And, they crashed and burned, and it actually looked like it sucked to take the fall that they took. I mean, it kind of put Sting to shame in a lot of ways because it was just a brutal fall. And to me, almost the brutality of the fall, I think, made people buy into it more than if they would have hit the spot perfectly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everyone instead of going, they all went, ooh, you know,
like that had to hurt.
That hurt.
Yeah. It's good for the business.
It's like Trish, she broke her nose in the ladder match.
Yeah.
And it made you the whole time go, oof.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah, but she's fight through it.
Yeah.
I mean,
man,
she's tough. It's one of those type of deals too, So yeah.
Tough. Sometimes it bees like that, as they say.
Have mercy.
Have mercy. Here is a big Breezo
Super Chat
who wants to know, hey, Book, that was a veteran move. It's only funny because Vic got mad.
My boy Vic, man. I want to see Vic move up, man. I want to see Vic move up to the main roster and get his flowers, man, because Vic's good, man. Vic is definitely the reason I stay on point on that show. He definitely directs me. He's almost like freaking a maestro out there sometimes, holding his hands, like calm down, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Making sure the guys speed up through the reads and everything. He's unbelievable, you know what I mean? So I definitely want to see that young man get to the next level.
Yeah, I'm sure that he will, man. I can tell you I'll have a great time together. This is the next one. This is Mike Edwards, who said, hey, guys, Book, I always love how WCW ring sounds when you take a bump. And WWE's in the early 2000s. Did they change the ring to prevent injuries?
I don't know if I think WWE changed their rings to prevent injuries, just because the rings used to be like major hard. WCW rings were always, like a pillows, compared to WWE ring, as well as it was 18 by 18 compared to 20 by 20, which made it a little bit different as far as running the ropes. But I heard a lot of the nightmare stories about WWE rings, before I got there. But when I got there, I didn't have any problem adjusting to, the feel of it. I had a problem adjusting to the size more so than the feel. So I don't know if they changed it before I got there or after I got there.
I've always heard too that the WCW ring, was it bounce? People always said it was like bouncier.
Yeah, it had a lot of bounce in it. Yeah. It had a lot of bounce in it. I mean, you could take a good bump in the ring, without, feeling a whole lot of, friction when you hit the mat or anything like that. Yeah, I loved WCW rings. But then again, I was young too. So when you're young, I think even if a WWE ring wouldn't have felt that bad when you're young, as well as I wouldn't like try to take a lot of bumps either.
Now, let me ask you this. Between the three rings that you worked in, the 6 sides in TNA, the WWE style ring, which is a 20 by 20, and then I believe the WCW ring was 18 by 18, and it had cables instead of actual rope. WWE has actual rope. Did you have a preference of any of the three? And then which one kind of was the worst to work in?
I wouldn't necessarily say either one of them was the worst, but I think at the stage of my career, I think I like TNA 6-sided ring the best because I knew I wasn't going to be taking any bumps.
No bump book in TNA, man.
I did a lot of rolling in TNA. I ain't take too many bumps at all.
I remember AJ saying that those rings were hard because there was so much structure under them because it was 6 sides instead of 4. They were real hard.
They might have been, but I don't remember.
They might have been.
But I don't remember taking any hard bumps in that ring at all. Trust me. I'm serious, man. You got to be smart when you're doing this stuff, bro. If you want to last in this business, the thing is about how many bumps you don't take in this business. Not about how many you take. You got a bump card, and when you punch that bump card up, you're done. You're finished. you know, I can still go out and bump a little bit. You know, I took an arm drag a couple of weeks ago, you know.
Oh, yeah? How'd it feel?
Didn't feel too bad at all. When I was doing my training down NXT, took an arm drag just to show those guys the proper way to take the arm drag. You know, sometimes you gotta lead by example.
Well, we got 3 more super chats to get to, so let's go through them here. We only have a couple minutes left of the show. Kappa Owens said, "Nah, boat right. Cashing in for a mid title is like getting a basic plain biscotti when you can get the upgraded hottie biscotti. Double cup. You dig it?"
I'm not saying, you know, the boat's not wrong on that. I would cash in for the heavyweight championship myself. You know, me personally, a guy that's going after the lure, you know, low hanging fruit, you know, opposed to, you know, going up for the big times. Yeah. Me personally, yeah, man. I would go for the big title. I would go for the Universal Championship. I go for the heavyweight championship. You know, winning the tag team titles. I'm not going to be looking for a partner. You know, winning the Intercontinental Championship, U.S. title. That right there is, you know, titles that, you know, has been looked at as stepping stones as far as getting to the big one. You got the ticket. It's almost like a lottery ticket. You just cashed in. Do you want the money in increments, or you want all of the cash at one time?
Well, you know, I see what you're saying. Like, I get it. I feel you. But again, do you want the regular plain biscotti, or do you want the upgraded hottie biscotti double cup? You dig?
How about to use that one? Definitely gonna use that double cup. Put that down.
Oh man. Okay, here's the next one. Man, y'all hit me with the RKO stream out of nowhere, but BT, Brad, NXT Underground, Gable, gold medalist, coaching that boy Thorpe with a W. Thoughts?
No, didn't I tell you that was going to be a good match?
It was great.
Didn't I tell you that was going to be something, you know, we haven't seen on Underground. We've seen the Underground matches before, but this one was going to be a little bit different. I thought those guys went out there and brought it. I thought the way they filmed it and shot it, I thought it was great. I thought the stuff with Gable Stevenson at the end was good. That segment was a damn good segment. That's why I said, guys, you got to see, you know.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I think Book cut out on us here for a second.
And I'm right here.
There he is. It cut out for a second.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
I mean, I like the Gable stuff a lot, man. I thought it was really sweet.
How'd you like the Underground match?
The Underground was cool. You know, the Underground was definitely cool. It was something different than, you know, like we had seen before.
Those guys
the other Underground. Oh, go ahead.
Talk about the acting. Those guys went out there and played damn good roles. I'm serious. I mean, literally, Kemp and Thorpe, both of those guys went out, and they actually. And what was the thing is, Kemp, he's actually a collegiate wrestler, so he was right in his zone. Eddie Thorpe, you could tell this guy's, you know, I don't know if he's trained in striking. I don't know if he's actually been a striker, but he's worked all over the world. So those two guys went out there, and the formula they put together, it was a damn good sequence, and it was a good match, good story. Everything played out, you know, and it was believable.
Well, we have time for one more super chat. This is from California. Fill my glass and pass the cavi. Represent the Hall of Fame in flight on my way to Rome, Italy.
Yeah.
I know y'all can dig that. Bo, thanks for giving BT the Nintendo Switch idea a while back. It helps a lot. Oh, I guess you gave me the Nintendo Switch.
I gave him the Switch.
Yes.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I've been playing that basketball. I just started playing NBA 2K again because I'm trying to, you know, get in the game with my son, man. I swear, man, that's such a hard game to play, man. I mean, there's too many. I mean, it's too technical. I mean, the joystick, there's no way you can remember all that stuff. There's no way. If you do remember it, you got too much damn time on your hands. That's the way I look at that. So either way, it's a bad thing. Either way. Well, Book, that wraps up all of our super chats for the day, man. Hey, man.
And wraps up the show.
We didn't even get a chance to talk about CM Punk. We didn't get a chance to talk about John Moxley. I mean, Tiffany Stratton. Stick around, guys. We got more talk coming for you in the future. So we'll get it in there for you. Just not tonight. We got to get up out of here. But I want to thank you, Brad, for all the heavy lifting, all the super chatters, man. You guys rocked it tonight, as always. But next week, same place, same time, right here inside the Hall of Fame. But right now, guys, I love you. Peace. Yeah.